Hello, I'm Dr. Anik Shah. Today on World Schizophrenia Day, I'm going to talk about a few basic facts about schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a chronic and severe mental disorder that affects 20 million people worldwide. In the United States, over 2.2 million individuals have this brain disorder. Around 10% of patients with the disorder are more likely to have an alcohol or drug abuse problem. Moreover, these individuals are at increased risk of having other mental health conditions as well as dying earlier than individuals without this brain disorder. In women, the first symptoms generally start in the late 20s. In men, the symptoms usually begin in early to mid 20s. It is not usually associated with violent behavior as generally thought, and it does not cause a split personality, which is a totally different mental disorder. The word schizophrenia comes from schizos and phrenos, which means split mind, but it should not be confused with split personality. So, schizophrenia is associated with considerable disability and may affect educational and occupational performance. People with schizophrenia are 2 to 3 times more likely to die early than the general population. This is often due to physical illness, such as cardiovascular or metabolic and infectious diseases. Stigma, discrimination, and violation of the human rights of people with schizophrenia is very, very common. Now, when we come to the causes of this disorder or the etiology of this disorder, now researchers identified there is no one single factor. It is thought that an interaction between the genes and a range of environmental factors may cause schizophrenia. The causes of this disorder are complex, but early development, genetics, substance abuse, trauma, particularly in the childhood, and stressful social circumstances can increase your chances. Of course, now genetics is particularly important because if you have a family history of this disorder, the probability of having schizophrenia is much higher. For example, if a parent had the disorder, there's a 10% chance of developing it. However, if there's no family history, the chances of developing this condition are below 1%. Then drug abuse is also a problem. A regular consumption of illegal drugs such as cocaine, cannabis, amphetamines, or LSD may trigger these symptoms. The problems which have occurred before, during, or after birth, like lack of oxygen during delivery, influenza in the mother during the second trimester of pregnancy, incompatibility of the infant's and the mother's blood type, and a low birth weight. Then comes the psychosocial factors. How can you deny them? Like stressful life, like sorrow, may also trigger this brain disorder for some individuals. We have to understand something. The treatment gap of this disorder, particularly in developing countries, is very, very high. Like more than 69% of people with schizophrenia are not receiving appropriate care. 90% of people with untreated schizophrenia live in low and middle income countries. So, lack of access to mental health services is an important issue. Furthermore, people with schizophrenia are less likely to seek care than the general population. Now, people with schizophrenia are prone to human rights violations both inside the medical health institutions and in the outside communities. Stigma of the disorder is very, very high, which contributes to the discrimination. And that ultimately limits access to general health care, education, housing, and employment. So, when we talk about how the disease disorder manifests itself, we have to understand basically two kinds of symptoms. There are more, but basically two groups of symptoms, the positive and the negative symptoms. What are the positive symptoms? The positive symptoms first of its kind is hallucination, like hearing, seeing, or feeling things that are not there. Then delusion, that's a fixed false belief that is not shared by others or in the society, and that is firmly held even when there is evidence to the contrary. Then there's abnormal behavior like disorganized behavior such as wandering aimlessly, mumbling or laughing to self, strange appearance, self-neglect. Then disorganized speech like incoherent or irrelevant speech. Then we talk about the negative symptoms. Negative symptoms are basically a lack of function or withdrawal, which you would not normally expect to see in the healthy individuals. They include problems with working memory. What is working memory? It is the capacity to use the information right after learning it. Then there is apathy, a lack of emotion or feeling. There's poor executive function, which is the ability to understand information and use it to make decisions. An inability to concentrate on even for simple tasks. A difficulty in keeping focus during conversations. Sometimes thought block. Losing interest in everyday activities such as grooming, bathing, or getting dressed. So these are the symptoms broadly. Now we talk about how to deal the management of this thing. First thing is to get rid of schizophrenia. The best possible way is one must follow the advice of professionals and stick to the proper medication routine. There is no alternative to this. Delaying the treatment process or withdrawal is completely dangerous for both the individual suffering from the condition as well as the family members. But if you happen to notice the symptoms of schizophrenia in your loved one, reach out immediately for professional help. Early identification of the symptoms can really help. So now that we have established that the most important thing, the most important property in the management is the medication. Apart from medication, the important thing is the counseling and psychoeducation of the caregivers, the family members who are looking after the patient. Because they need to understand this is not a disorder that's going to go away just after starting the medication. This disorder is not going to go away, at least for a considerable period of time. In some cases, that considerable period of time may be the entire lifetime of the patient, but not necessarily. But they should understand what expectations, the caregiver should know what expectations to have with the treatment. Then there are side effects of the medications that should not deter them from continuing the treatment. They should, if there are side effects from the medication, they should take the patient to the medical professional who will alter the drugs accordingly. But they should not withdraw treatment. This is very important. On a broader level, on a community level, we can talk psychoeducation of the entire community about this disorder. The stigma is still rife, very, very important. So that's all about schizophrenia from me.